I have one question which I'd like to ask you more from your role as a civil society organization. I don't know whether. Sorry. This clearly is not working. But I'm going to rely on my loud voice. My question is, in this entire debate for migrant workers, we have largely focused the debate coming from the side of the sending country and saying that, the receiving countries are abusing the workers. For example, with Malaysia, it's always been the Indonesian civil societies or the Indonesian Migrant Workers Union, or same was the case in Cambodia, for instance. What is the possibility, or what are your links that you have with civil society organizations in countries like Malaysia to raise that voice on behalf of foreign workers in their own country to make that policy shift? Because I think that becomes a criticality. Otherwise, it's always a voice from the outside speaking on behalf of another set of people who the members of that receiving community don't see necessarily as their responsibility. I think that probably is something which we need to focus on, and I'd like to hear what Think Center is looking at doing on issues like that, even say linking up with civil society back in Cambodia here. The other issue is more a comment really. I think in all our migration debates we need to keep in mind that migrant workers are, they're definitely not a homogeneous group. They are the blue collar and the white collar migrant workers, and then the migrant workers about whom we are more concerned today, the labor force. Unfortunately, we have not been able to align forces in this migration debate for protecting migrant workers across these subsections. So largely, the white-collar workers, the blue-collar workers, the more privileged, have remained outside of lending a voice to other migrant workers from the less privileged working conditions. That's more like, where do we make the shift, and how do you perceive that kind of an alliance building happening across countries in ASEAN?
The process is quite different from what you imagine. Past history, that's what you say is very true. When you talk about the process, the ASEAN process of national consultation, in each country that we are dealing with, it was purposely structured is actually bottom up, not top down. So in all the national consultations we hold, of course, earlier I mentioned about the governmental procedure, that's top down. But when it came to the civil society and trade union and others involved in the national consultation process, we formed a team, a national working group. In some countries, it was remain more successful than others. For example, let's compare Indonesia and Cambodia. In the case of Indonesia, we had people from the different provinces coming, not government officials only. We have representatives from migrant groups that have returned back and formed a station of migrant provinces. That is one type of people we invite for national consultation. Returnees and people who have formed associations of their own. On the other hand, we also have representatives from service organizations. For example, migrant workers have a lot of problems. So there are shelter homes run for migrant workers from this country in the destination country like Malaysia. On the other hand, when they are injured and they are hurt or unfortunately they die, they are also sent back, and there are service groups in the origin country to provide support for this. We also have that. And then we have others like the trade union. If they are from sectors that are organizable, that is recognized by the labor law, they are unions. What about the informal sector, the domestic workers? They also have, maybe not a union, but they have association. So we invite them too. The last group is professionals. I mean, we are talking about lawyers, bar counsels, legal aid support. These people are very important because they provide support for people who get in trouble, migrants who get in trouble. At the same time, they know the law. Yeah. So these are the type of groups we bring into the conversation. Let's not forget, we also have employers representatives. That means recruitment agencies. In Singapore case, we have agencies that accredit these recruitment agencies. We have the responsible ministries, the 4 or 5 ministries plus the departments who are involved to be there. So it takes about 1.5 days to go through the understanding of the reality, not a lecture like what we got here. It's from those groups that are working at the base level to announce, to share their problem. If there's a home affairs, if the civil society and other groups are saying this problem is happening, for example, the denial of taking away the passport, collection of money. Then the home affairs, if they are there, they can respond, but often we know what is in these countries because it can be very different. So I think that is a process we purposely took. It took us 3 years to complete these consultations. ASEAN is government, intergovernmental. So in the intergovernmental process, since ASEAN has a charter now and they want to dialogue with the people, consultation process, we have this middle bridging at this stage, and that is one of the mechanisms is the task force on ASEAN migrant workers. So there are other task forces on ASEAN and human rights. And I will stop.
All right, thank you. In the interest of time, I think that we ought to call it a halt here. We hope that you will be able to keep us updated of future in bringing this session to a close. I think we can thank our speaker one more time. And I hope that you enjoy the rest of the conference. Thank you.